Hey, we're loading into the game. Jagannath Winter Edition. MaxPax versus ByuN. And the Shopify Rebellion logo and the PSISTORM logo looking so sleek there. With that nice little backdrop of gray. Love it. Let's see how we do. Top right from the Shopify Rebellion, our red Terran player is ByuN. Bottom left from PSISTORM Gaming, our blue Protoss is MaxPax. ByuN and MaxPax have been trading maps. Last I checked, I did cast a series, obviously, between them on Asus ROG, where ByuN took one map, but MaxPax took the other two. And they did play more recently as well, right? But I think MaxPax won that one 2-0. Now, that was on the European server. Yeah, 2-0 for MaxPax in the second to most recent Open Cup. Now, like I say, guys, that is on the European server, both of those times that they last played. The only times that they've played on the American server, ByuN has won. 2 of those times were last year, and 1 time earlier this year in our WardiTV 2021 event, ByuN won 2-1. So, MaxPax has definitely been leveling up since then. I'm excited to see what happens between MaxPax and ByuN in a best-of-3 on the NA server, with obviously big stakes on the line. First match in the World Team League. Both these teams absolutely contenders for playoffs. Obviously, last season, the Shopify Rebellion were in the playoffs, and last season PSISTORM were playing as Team X, and they didn't make it, but PSISTORM's lineup I feel better than it has been before because they've got Gumiho now, and on top of that, there's more teams that make the playoffs this time as well. 7 teams go to the playoffs, so obviously, you know, there is a chance there as well to start talking about maybe a little bit of excitement, a little bit of hype, a little bit of possibility, as PSISTORM, I think, can definitely... It's kind of weird, because it's like, you know, to talk about being in a playoff team now is just a little bit easier than it was last season, but obviously playoffs are the first goal, but every step you make in the regular season, the further up you are in the regular season, the easier the playoffs are going to be for you, because the further into the playoffs you begin, so the better that's going to be. I'd say Shopify are absolutely aiming for top 5 again. I think PSISTORM would be happy to sit in the top half of the table. 6th, maybe 7th place, just edge into playoffs. Don't think that would be bad for them. Proxied gateway from MaxPax. I mean, we've all seen the MaxPax before as ByuN. He's proxying his factory back across the map. The Zealot is allowed in, and the Marine is going to go running. Can he actually block this Zealot? Yes, he can. So Zealot gets 1 SCV. Will kite away now. Shouldn't really be allowed another, right? I mean, Marine going to continue on it. It's going to keep on running. Will it get a chance to regenerate any of those shields, I guess, is part of the question. Bunker gets up, and that is going to be 1 Zealot down. The other Zealot in actually does get a Marine, though. Now, the factory's still proxied on the other side of the map. What does ByuN do with it? He's been pulling SCVs this entire time. It doesn't feel great. It definitely feels better if you maybe just let those, if you never let those Zealots in. Factory flies into the main, probe sees it, so at least you know it's there. Obviously, now the Widow Mines will still make an effort to walk into the main, and there's no units at home to defend those Widow Mines either, so there's potential to actually still get a fair amount done here. Stalker about to pop out on the proxied gateway. Okay, actually, there is 1 Stalker home, so MaxPax brings 1 back. Okay, well, then this really isn't going to be much at all for ByuN. You can borrow this. He can get a probe, but obviously this is less than ideal, especially considering you've been slowed down so much at home. He gets the Stalker. Hey, that's actually a nice start, because now this Widow Mine can run. And by this Widow Mine running away, you can actually keep that alive a bit longer. Probes don't really want to chase it, and the next Widow Mine maybe has a better chance of getting into play as well. It actually is a pretty big deal, losing the Stalker to the Widow Mine. That's the one thing you're not really expecting to happen there, so I would say that that's a bit of a mistake. This Widow Mine just going to burrow up towards the assimilator. That's dangerous, because obviously if you blow up on the worker in the gas, and it goes into the gas, it can essentially avoid the shots. But that's also something which sometimes I think you've just got to be confident microing against happening as well, so yeah, I would say that that's generally the case, as we do just see Widow Mines, yeah, like that assimilator going into, so the Widow Mine shot going into the assimilator obviously doesn't actually hit the probe that's in there, and that's obviously a little bit awkward. I feel like MaxPax is having a good start, because ByuN obviously still doesn't have his natural in position or anything either, right? From the start of this game, he's still kind of recuperating from the initial proxy gate pressure, and obviously that's going to hurt a little bit, so not exactly brilliant. As we are going to be seeing a couple Stalkers poking in towards the natural, up toward the main. Two Marines is going to be joining up together as well. In that medevac, as we're going to be seeing ourselves Factory attempting to land again, not allowed to. But let's see what these Marines can do. Factory keeping the Stalker busy. And the Marines get here. Instant pull from MaxPax. Loses a couple workers caught to that. Well, one just spawned, one got caught in Mineral Patch. Stalkers across the map still stopping you from expanding here as the Terran player. So ByuN is not able to take his expansion just yet. The probes are back. I mean, the Stalker's derping there, and the probes did not need to be here this soon. And MaxPax making some mistakes and giving ByuN a road back into this game. That's currently not mining from the natural. The pylon there killed as well. Factory still taking some attention into the main base too during all of this. I mean, what an absolute bunch of chaos we got going on in our first game of PSISTORM Gaming against the Shopify Rebellion. 7 probes were killed. This medevac gets out of there. The factory is still trying to do something. As you think this time we really do manage to get our natural into play. The units have given up pressure on the other side of the map. That Widow Mine goes down. I think everything settles down here. The factory is dead too, so I think we're finally done for a little bit, and we really do get a proper chance to reset now. Which I think everybody should kind of take with open arms, because this has been a little bit wacky and a little bit crazy so far. It's been a heck of a game. I really felt like it was all going MaxPax's way to begin with, but ByuN definitely found the damage to start bringing himself back into it, that's for sure. I can't deny that. See those few Stalkers taking a few shots. Stim not ready yet, as obviously this is one of the harassing moments where MaxPax hopes to bring this back a little bit as well, absolutely. If you can just get a few workers killed, that's always nice. As medevac thought about going for the main, but says I'd rather just keep it alive. And going into the main is just that little bit riskier, so wants to really keep it at bay there. Nicely done. Can you play this map in custom maps? Yeah, I mean, if they're playing it on live servers, which obviously they have to be, they have to have uploaded it, so it must be available on all servers, because if they have matches possible on all servers, which is the case, I think all you got to search for is if you search WTL, you should be able to play it. I mean, it is just Jagannathra, it's just reskinned, you know? So just exact same layout and everything, just reskinned, basically. As these Marines get cleaned out, their medevac fell. Once their medevac is gone, you don't expect much out of those Marines, so not too surprising to see them go. There's the Prism now in the center. Colossus already building up. The Nexus is on the way to try and take the third base. ByuN will now clean out the proxied gateway, which is obviously something that caused him some chaos and pain in the early stages of map number 1 here. Marines and a Marauder go in for those Stalkers as well, so something else just to table on as this Prism does not want to leave yet. He really wants to get this turret. Forces SCVs. Oh, the Raven goes down! ByuN, oh, he talks to himself as well. He knows that's a mistake. That Raven's critical because the interference matrix can shut down a Colossus and really give you a chance to push in. ByuN losing track of his Raven. Massive loss there. Big snipe from MaxPax. Going to help him out massively in this game. Big win from MaxPax right there. That is really substantial. As these other couple medevacs still moving around to the side. ByuN. We'll see if we can get much done with some multi-pronged aggression. We'll see how MaxPax's defense can be across the board here, across all of his bases. Again, when you're playing against someone like ByuN that loves to ramp up the pressure and really bring the fight, you got to make sure you got some of the best defense in the game, right? Because this man will drop you and multitask you like crazy until you drop down dead. So, something to watch for. Oh, well, this is actually a really good fight for ByuN. He jumps in, gets one Colossus. He's actually going to be on top of the other one as well. If that goes down, the Marauder shots get it. Then there's no splash damage from MaxPax, and ByuN can keep moving through. Oh, the position there for ByuN was beautiful. And that just means that ByuN's going to be able to probably just win this game from this point. Super Battery is unpowered. Pure Marauder against Stalkers. Yeah, the Raven obviously would have helped there, but not needed with the fight he was able to take anyway. ByuN takes the first map for the Shopify Rebellion. What a way to just explosively close this game. MaxPax actually looks like the adept in the photo. maybe that's the way to play it. That would be a talking point. Maybe that's the life we need in StarCraft. That'd be funny. He will show up as Artanis. People are like, "Oh my god, nice cosplay." He's like, "No, this is what I look like." It's like, "Wait, you're Artanis?" He's like, "No, I'm Max." MaxPax top right, ByuN bottom left. ByuN leading this 1-0 with the flank on the Colossi. Some cute play after the early game didn't seem amazing for ByuN. He definitely brought it back with that medevac drop that put him back on track. Obviously losing the Raven felt as though that should have been the end of MaxPax's woes early game though until a little bit later on, but ByuN still just on the map, finding the moment where MaxPax gets a bit too confident, jumps on that moment beautifully and just denies it. Denies MaxPax in that moment, and I mean, that's just it from there, right? Just getting ourselves into game number 2 with a probe across the map. Obviously, no gateway built anywhere this time around, so nothing too crazy for us here. Nothing too ludicrous to be talking about or discussing. I love these games today. Again, Scarlet Special's a really fun one. Not seen. I don't think I've casted Scarlet in a while. Scarlet Special's like a real NA battle as well. But obviously because of Latin America versus North America, the way that DreamHack is split up, it feels like it's been forever since I saw a Special versus Scarlet match. But to me, Special and Scarlet were always really back and forth players with each other. Have a look. When did they last play? They did play once this year in TSL qualifiers. Special won 2-0. I do always feel as though Scarlet's ZVT hasn't been on point lately. I do feel like she has a lot of troubles early game getting set up, and once you have troubles early game in ZVT, you're generally going to have trouble the rest of the game as well. Scarlet didn't beat Special since the 22nd ESL Open Cup career. That was in June of last year, so it's been a while, but it's not like they've only played twice since then, so... Yeah, they don't play that much, but they definitely used to play a lot more in the past. It's just been a little while. Twilight building from MaxPax as we obviously get more standardized openings this time around than obviously working off the back of that proxy gate, etc. So I'm just going to Twilight it up while ByuN is going to head into a Widowmine drop. His CC came down at pretty reasonable timing, nothing too crazy there. Just wanted to play a bit of a mind game, which is something that ByuN has been doing a lot of as of late. And against somebody like MaxPax, it really does just kind of, keep you safe sometimes as well in case he does try and proxy again a second game. It just means you're not already having to deal with that on the low ground or anything, so there's some absolute benefits to it for sure. Yo, thank you so much. The BarTV from Team GP. They are the honors of Team GP. Thank you so much for the $5 donation. Says thank you for the cast. Hey, thank you so much for playing some great games today, guys. I think I speak for everybody when we say we always love a good upset. And I think it's very fair to say not a lot of us were expecting it. But I in particular was very happy to see it happen. I'll have you guys know, I predicted you guys to take 2 maps as well. I predicted 2 maps. Little did I know. I was so wrong. I should have had even more belief. I had like a very minor amount of belief. I needed so much more belief. Everyone in my chat was like, Wardy, make a bet. Will Team GP take 1 map all day? I was like, no, guys, because they're going to take at least 2. Oh, shit, I was wrong as well. I also looked stupid. Just less stupid than Twitch chat, at least. Alright, this couple of Widowmines coming across the map. The Observer flying by. Obviously gets a chance to have a quick look at that as well, so... There goes the medevac into the main base, and Stalker's immediately in position, but the medevac can outboost that, and that Stalker that just walked in has to move, and it's just blocked the probes from getting away. So the Stalker dies, and so did 3 workers on top of it. ByuN then didn't move his medevac back in time, though. That should have been a saved Widowmine, and that could have been more damage in the future. So unfortunately, a bit of a mistake from ByuN at the end, but still not a bad drop overall. You wouldn't be upset with this. The only reason to be upset is the fact that it could have been just even better. Could have been even better. He sees the Prism warping in Stalkers here as well, so realizing some pressure is coming his way, he can take a moment or two to take a step back and say, okay, let's just calm this down a little bit and so on. Let's just chill out a moment here, get things reset a little bit. And hey, thank you George W. Go for the 17-month resub on the Prime as well. Also appreciate the love, mates. Thanks for supporting the stream. Stalkers show up. They're going to get rid of the bunker on the low ground, so already the natural is going to be a little bit more vulnerable than you'd like it to be right from the start. So that's a little bit of a shame to start us off here. Is just going to be seeing Marines, the Raven, all joined up on that natural expansion. MaxPax has that observer to give you a little bit of additional vision. Once again, takes that third base and a Robo Bay behind it. He gets himself up into the follow-up now. Gets himself ready to transition on from here. And hey, Sir Goras, thank you so much for the Prime sub as well. Appreciate the love, guys. Really, really do. Thanks for the subs today. As our charge, our Robo Bay, our Forgel comes in. Stalker's going to drop in the main base. Marines will come forward and fight those Stalkers off. Stalker's actually going to micro quite nicely. There's some Marauders there as well to really keep the damage going. Well, ByuN's still being held back on 2 bases. We'll see when he gets Stim how easy it is for him to really break out and to get over to the other side of the map again. See if he can start being aggressive once more, if he really is going to be penned in here. Obviously, the longer he's penned in, the happier MaxPax is, not having to deal with a lot of the pressure and stuff. As ByuN even going to just auto turret harass, which is actually usually pretty nice, but with the battery already in the main, you're not going to get much done there. In which case, it doesn't really make sense to commit to it or anything, so you obviously just pull that away, you don't go for it. And you just kind of chill out a little bit as the auto turret drops in one more time, and a couple Stalkers will get to work on that auto turret. And hey, thank you Polteramus for the Prime sub as well. For the 4 months, welcome back as we just see that auto turret finally finding the bit of damage. A few probes able to go down. What you would love to do is obviously harass the worker line for a little while here, then eventually you get that Raven to come and join up with the main army for the push, so you can actually get some, Raven casts off and actually, get some value out of it in the main fight as well. So that's definitely what you're kind of somewhat expecting here. Oh my goodness, and Dovenwolf as well. Thank you so much for the 41-month resub, dude. Always good to see you. Thank you so much for resubscribing as well. So ByuN's just going to get his tanks unsieged, start to take a move up the left-hand side. These Stalkers are just going to blink back away a little bit, and Marauders do catch a couple of Stalkers. Going to come all the way around the top, and that one Raven, it had the chance to come and loop around here and join up with this army if it wanted to, but looked like he decided to actually just keep it nearby a mineral line instead, so kind of making his choice there with the Raven. Oh, now he just brought it back over this main army, so he loses the Raven immediately. That was the worst case scenario. I wonder if he was meant to bring it back initially, then he didn't mean to send it back or something. I don't know, but that obviously is the worst case situation there, because he definitely doesn't benefit from it going down. He definitely doesn't benefit from it just dying. So, yeah, that's unfortunately not quite what was meant to be. Zealots in the main as MaxPax looks to up the pressure and maybe keep ByuN at home a little longer with some of his units. And that might work out, but ByuN, he already had units at home, somewhat ready to defend. So he's already able to defend pretty well. And he's still pushed on the other side of the map. And those tanks are edging ever closer. If those tanks get on top of or in range of the Colossi, those Colossi will disappear really quickly, so even the War Prism is pulling back to maybe create a bit of a flank now, but ByuN's also getting his reinforcements up here. Disruptors are in production. Nice scout from ByuN. He sees these few Zealots, so he knows units are off to the side. He knows the potential flank is there. I'd like to see him send some units to go and deal with that, but maybe he assumes they pulled back because MaxPax saw him see them. But no, they are still there, and I feel like ByuN could have probably done something about it. Now we're going to see this fight start. MaxPax actually sends the Zealots to go deal with further reinforcements. Now the Colossi are going to get overrun because there's just not enough on the ground to protect them. Even the Super Battery won't save them here, at least initially. But then the Disruptor forces the Bio units back, and actually the continued damage wasn't enough. So ByuN only got 1 Colossus. When there was nothing to protect them, I thought they were doomed. Did not turn out to be the case, though. And we are going to get ourselves one final kill here as well as we push on through. Now tanks are back in the front. And ByuN is still in position to maybe make something happen. Attacking to try and give the Shopify Rebellion the 2-0 lead in this best of 7. Can he do so with this attack? Disruptor shot fires. He's going to hit the tanks. 2 of them fall low, but they ain't dead yet. And he's going to drop a mule to start repairing the tanks as well. Love the unit position. He pulled his bio units back to make sure the tanks didn't get hit by a Zealot also. knowing that the tank count is absolutely one of the main reasons he can stick around here and really prioritizing keeping those siege tanks alive. Dark Shrine just finished. Another problem for ByuN now, I'm sure. Let's see if we can make something of this problem in the next couple of moments as we got ourselves a couple of disruptors setting up. He's going to get one of the tanks, the other surviving. So that will last a moment or two longer. He had the lift up actually. Well, the disruptor actually missed, but he had the lift up getting ready as well, just in case. He was really making sure he would do everything possible to keep the tanks alive. Again, he knows the importance of his tank count in this army. As time goes by, tanks do not do as well as more zealots and stuff come up though. ByuN has to pause and looked like he was maybe sneezing, I would say, if I had to make a guess. Looked like he had to sneeze or something, so maybe not a long pause, but obviously intense game. You need to sneeze. I mean, I guess you don't want to start microing to sneeze, right? What does PPP mean? It means please press pause, because back in the day, you weren't allowed to pause yourself when you were playing in Pro League. You had to ask the admins to pause the game for you, so you had to type please press pause. That's where it comes from, rather than just PP, which is like please pause, or pause please. ByuN Hexagon's outrageous. Hayden Micros having an attack. I talked about this before. Sometimes ByuN attacks too much. You know, we've seen him repeatedly in the past. Recently, just kind of put himself in positions which are really bad because he just won't stop attacking. You know. So sometimes when your attack hurts you, it can't be attack. More Vikings against the Colossi now, but that disruptor count's rising up. I would say it's kind of a 50-50 as to whether you want to take down these rocks or not. If you take down the rocks, easier access for the Protoss army onto you. But if you don't take down the rocks, it's going to be hard to push through against the disruptors. ByuN! Oh, whoa, no! That was a horrible disruptor shot to eat in the face. That was absolutely not what he was looking for. Ouch. That is a disruptor shot and a half. MaxPax is going to find himself on his way back into this game with disruptor shots like that. Maybe that's why his micro's at a 7 or an 8. Yeah, that was not pretty. Obviously, this position is great, but sitting in this position is not great if you are taking hits like that. Oh, what a time to fight. Oh my goodness. 2 of the tanks only going down, but that felt like that could have been so much worse as well, honestly. I felt like that could have been way, way worse. DTs across the map are doing some damage. The previous ones got shot down pretty quickly, but these ones having a little bit of a better time. Disruptor shot fires through. Isn't going to reach anything here this time, though, as MaxPax keeps on holding this position. I wonder if ByuN could just sneak a couple medevacs away towards the main or something during this, because it feels like that's one of the main things he's missing. Maybe just some pressure elsewhere at the same time. Might be able to make the difference, you know. SCVs have gone down. Just going to see a disruptor shot that will not land. There's the DT showing up again, as a few of these SCVs will start to fall. These Vikings ventured too far forward as well. ByuN's going to have Liberators to help stabilize this position. He definitely lost so much momentum with that disruptor hit, though, and he's going to be kicking himself about that one for a while. He's got +2 armor on the way. Does he have +2 attack already? No, so he's forgotten his +2 attack upgrade as well. Attack, much more important than armor usually for Terran armies, but yeah, ByuN doing a bit of a ByuN. He's made this mistake plenty of time in recent history, and he is not actually getting the upgrade, which he maybe needs the most. He does grab a Colossus, love the move forward there, and he actually evacuates the units from the disruptor shot as well. Still just working on this one position. Oh wow, MaxPax has just had enough. He's going to go for it. DT's blinked in as well, and you can see ByuN's supply is going to plummet. I was already starting to say plummet because his supply was dropping so quick. He'll run up the right side. He'll probably kill the 4th base. These units are very low on HP on the right. They have not got medevac support, or a lot of it. He'll get the 4th. He stims again. He's been stimming this army on the right like crazy. He cannot afford to keep on fighting there. Now, he did bring some units to the left, so he's going to have the DTs killed off. He makes a dive for the Colossi. He gets 1. And he will fight with these few final Marauders against a couple of Stalkers here as well. Just finish off what he can. I mean, all of ByuN's units do fairly decent damage, all things considered, in these situations, so they're doing okay for themselves. Going to see the units back around the top now as well from MaxPax. ByuN, and definitely in some trouble. I mean, killing the 4th base is nice, though. It keeps MaxPax in a bit more of a very committed situation. DT's again going to be a problem. Oh, that's a really nice snipe on the Robo Facility. Dodger Disruptor shot, come back in. He had that one Disruptor he was targeting with one Marauder. He actually probably could have had it. ByuN trying to take this fight. DT's, though, blinking in again. I feel like that's just where you don't want to keep playing, but DTs are starting to die, and if DTs die, it becomes very expensive. Oh, massive blink in the main base. ByuN realizing there's so many Stalkers there. Disaster for ByuN as he blinks. Oh, it drops into the main, thinking he has a pathway to deal damage, but absolutely not the case. Oof, that hurts. That really, really hurts. Dang, that's... I mean, he started +3 armor and still no attack upgrade. That's got to be a mistake, right? He's got a 2nd Engineering Bay not in play. I'll be honest, I mean, I don't know if that changes the game overall, though. I don't know if that makes that much of a difference, all things said and done. Man, that blink on top of those medevacs was ridiculous. Gonna cancel up a structure there, as well as MaxPax decides just to commit to fighting now. Going a bit off to the side. Army supply is still somewhat similar here. ByuN trailing on workers, if nothing else, as he does have a 4th base. Moving into position. A few Marines from the last few medevacs that survived that previous attack, moving their way around, and we do see the Bio Army looking to try and fight back a little bit as well. A Disruptor shot through doesn't land on anything. And we get these medevacs home. This Bio Army needs the medevac support at this stage, and they are such low HP. Get them repaired up as well. Just give them a little bit of a chance to survive, a chance to get healing done throughout this game. That would be absolutely step 1 of this. Obviously, if 4th base gets up from ByuN, he can continue to compete and contest MaxPax with the economy as well. So that's something else I think we should be keeping our eyes on. This base is very important for ByuN, and he knows he needs to keep it alive. Obviously, this is 17 minutes deep as well, so it's turned into a pretty long game, where it's been scrappy and it's been aggressive as well. Really a couple of critical moments and fights and trades for MaxPax that have kept him alive in this as well. It's been a... ByuN was in some great positions at times, as the DTs will blink over. Now, the DTs blinking over means that they can't blink again, so at least you can chase them down. Oh no, ByuN's attacking his own orbital! His orbital in the main, he was under attack, and does he realize it? I don't know, because now we're watching this planetary die. It looks like he realized that he does catch these DTs. He lost the planetary on the left side, though. He just made his own life more complicated there. He's going to dive on the 4th base, but the units recall on top of it. So ByuN has to back away. Now no 4th of his own, having to drop scans on DTs. ByuN's got a large army supply, but he's got low HP on all of the units, which means that the large army supply doesn't really count for anything, because all of his units are just going to be so quick to fall when any fight happens. And that really is going to be a pretty serious part of the issue here in the near future, as ByuN... Yeah, I mean, I just don't think he can stabilize anymore, actually. I don't know. I mean, he's going to try and float his main base orbital to the right-hand side. If I'm this main base orbital, I'd be on strike. Your entire bio army just attacked it, and now you think it's just going to move on over and relocate. It was happy in the main base. There's no disruptors in this fight. Is that maybe something? Those force fields hurt MaxPax. They choked the Zealots up. They obviously stopped the Terran chasing a little bit, sure, but they also stopped the Zealots from maybe doing what they really want to do as easily, so that's kind of a weird moment, actually. As a disruptor shot, that miss micros again, kind of clumps up against it rather than splitting or lifting. Just going to be seeing this orbital command bottom side. Has not really had a chance to start mining. DTs are going to show up again. MaxPax really fought his way back into this game. He was not in a pretty spot to start things out, but he will make it back. And I mean, solid recovery from MaxPax. Some mistakes from ByuN, to be sure, but MaxPax did a lot of things right, and he survived some really difficult moments of this game too. I love these DTs just constantly on the counterattacks as well. They're so annoying. Does lose a couple though. I mean, DTs are expensive if you're losing them, and well, that one's actually going to get a bunch of SCVs. Yeah, that ain't pretty. Gonna have to rescan that as well, right? Which is again just another investment that you don't really want to be making at this point. And now MaxPax really is just 156 to 107. He's up 50 supply all of a sudden, you know, from, you know, only ever having been trailing. He is now up pretty substantially. DT in the main base gonna go on a little bit of a run around. Just gonna see that ByuN's around the top, but I mean, it's pure bio, man. There's no splash damage in this at all. ByuN types GG. He will not be happy with that, I think, because I think he had a very winnable setup in this game at a lot of points, but MaxPax gets the map win.